of people have these limitations of how much they can make, what they can accomplish, what they can do, and they're all self-imposed, right? Like if you look at Christy and I, we didn't come from the family with millionaires where it's like, oh, if you're not a millionaire in that family, something's off with you. It's like, no, we came from these, like she's saying, just everyday people that are working hard, doing the right things. But I heard from somebody one time, everybody as human beings and as souls are equal. Like no one person is better than the other. But in the marketplace, that's not the case, right? Like if you look at somebody like not a teacher, but like, somebody doing a job where they have certainty. It could be somebody working in HR just for a company and they have that certain salary, right? They're getting the paycheck, they get the benefits, they have that security. But with no risk comes no reward, and they don't have the ability to make money based on their ability or ability to impact people. Like if you look at Christy compared to someone that again just has a 9 to 5, they're getting their $3,000-4,000 a month, and then they get taxed to heck on it. Compare that with Christy, who started the business at zero, no backing, no certainty, a lot of risk, a lot of fear of failure, a lot of fear of embarrassment, right? We all have an imposter syndrome when we're starting out, but now she's impacted based on the numbers, right? Like you could say tens of millions of people that have watched your videos on TikTok, YouTube, maybe 20 million plus. So when you look at that, if you impact millions, not saying you are, but maybe you could be worth millions or make millions or even make less than that, right? Like if you impact a lot of people, you can make a lot. So that's really what I want to kind of share people with, is that that's what the whole idea of today is. It's like maybe you have the salary, you have the certainty. You need to maybe look to the other side and say, hey, well, yes, there's risk. Yes, nothing is certain, but there's also certainty that in that if I don't do anything differently, I'm not going to have a different result at the end of the day, right? And so I think it's about how can I build a business that's based on impacting other people, right, in their relationship, in their money, in their life, in their health. There's so many different types of, coaching or info or course or just information businesses that people start that do incredibly well, especially with YouTube, TikTok, our phones, technology. You don't need a fancy crew. You don't need a fancy, like TV commercial, like back in the day, like infomercials, right? Those cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so, that's what we can talk about today. But Christy, just before I start, can you just share a little bit about your experience and kind of specifically about how we all have knowledge, we all have expertise, we all have something that we've learned or something we've lived through and we can help other people with. Sometimes we just need to package that and build that into a business.
Absolutely. And, I think that the fear factor of stepping out is what stopped me for years because, like I said, even in the culture that I live in here and that I was raised with, and, the way my family believes, and, not everybody is going to be able to be successful. And actually, that wasn't even a goal that was in my raising, is that you're not trying to do any better. I've told you guys before that when I was a junior in high school and I was telling my mom about the IT stuff, because back in our day, the 80s, the IT was all brand new. And we were hearing about, you're going to have a computer in your house one day. And you're like, no way. And then here we are, everybody's got a computer in their hand all day long. That just wasn't even reality back then. And so I had said to my mom, oh, I'd really like to, go to Texas where it was starting to explode there, and, go to college and work in IT. And she went, now, Christy, you're not going to do anything like that. You're probably going to have a family and, be a secretary or something. So when you have that being fed to you all of your life, then it's foolishness to think outside of the box. It's foolish to think that I can be successful or I could do this. So it took me until my 30s to realize that you make your life. You decide what you're going to make your life do, happen, whatever. And so when I started thinking outside of the box, it was like everything started opening up for me. I believe that the imagination that God gave us, none of us use. I think that's why we're unsuccessful, is because we're not. He gave us the imagination for a reason. He gave you your passion for a reason. So when I started wanting to talk to people about velocity banking, it was because I knew that I didn't understand it. I had no idea about it. And people needed to know that whether they even realized they did or not. So when I decided to stop the corporate position, and I want everybody to understand, you have to get fed up. I was fed up with sitting in an office, uh, making a certain amount of money every week. I had to have that paycheck, that was my living. And we get in a rut, and a rut is nothing but a grave with the ends dug out. So you're in this rut and you're like, well, I have to do this until I retire and then I'll get Social Security. And we know how great Social Security is, right? So the point is that we just don't even think to look up. And I just decided, okay, I'm getting out of this office. And if I have to go live in the poorhouse to do it, I'm going to. So in my mind, fantastic when it become a reality after talking to you, actually, because I was just filling it out at that point. When it become a reality of, wow, we're really going to do this, it was do or die. So it was, get on making the videos, get on you were setting up everything for me. You made it so easy because you did all the IT. You still do. So you are a huge factor in what Fantastic is, because the backbone that my husband gave me to hire you even and to get in and really start working, I had like you and my husband was my group, and it was like you're my main support.